Good evening from Shanghai. I'm Vera Dordick, Managing Editor of HideNet Market Reports. It's the eve of ACLE, and we're just coming off the third World Leather Congress, which saw a record crowd today. I'm told it was 2 to 3 times the size of the previous editions. Regardless, it was full of fantastic presentations today, ranging from everything covering full supply chain to China's economic situation. The morning included fascinating insights on how the face of leather might change, but how the industry will go on, from Lisa Howlett of Auburn Leather. With regard to the future of raw materials, there was an interesting call to end the shipment of wet salted hides in favor of wet blue and white, which should be produced closer to the source. We heard opinions on both sides of that, both from some tanners who would love to see that happen to others who don't see an end to that coming anytime soon. We also heard about consumer psychographics in China, which was absolutely fascinating, about how the market is changing from product-driven to being more experiential, emotional, and individualistic, a bit more like the Western market. And in addition, an expert from JD.com discussed how they're leveraging big data to be more effective in selling certain products to the consumers in those different ways. The afternoon included international trade issues from Thomas Crockett of the FDRA. Gareth Brooks of VF Corporation spoke on the future of the supply chain, and interestingly, he included a word of warning to the leather industry, which has always done everything in a very traditional way. And his words of warning were Uber, Airbnb, Alibaba, and Facebook. All of those are large disruptors who have really disrupted industries rooted in tradition, and his point was that if we don't adapt, it won't be good. Stephen Jeske of Seton GST Auto Leather talked about how leather needs to differentiate itself, especially against the artificial materials that are coming along with fantasy names that don't describe what they are at all. There was more talk about the need for speed and agility to meet consumer demands. The last section was about the tanner's response to all these things, headed up by John Clark, who discussed the evolving leather ecosystem with regard to transparency, demand creation, efficiencies, and compliance. We also heard about trends in leather consumption, efforts toward the zero discharge of hazardous chemicals, and then the importance of the proper handling and usage of the right chemicals for leather. Overall, it was a completely jam-packed day, and this was just a prelude to ACLE, which kicks off tomorrow. So check back for coverage of the first day, along with the leather conference we're putting on tomorrow, HideNet and APLF, and it's sponsored by Smith and Zune. So until tomorrow, good night from